Why would you have a sock stuck in your...
I feel like maybe I swallowed something in my sleep.
Can you talk now?
Yeah, I can talk. I
There
just
we
have
go.
like a really, really weird feeling in my throat.
Did you reckon it was like a spider climbing into your mouth?
Oh, maybe,
Tasty
maybe some
spiders.
extra protein, some preemptive breakfast.
Now, I have to say, you are looking splendid. Absolutely splendid.
What was that? Oh, yes, I'm ready. Show me what you got, Lisa. I
You are
like your
wearing a
robe.
suit.
Looking
Yeah,
hot, bro.
I know. I've got Eminem here, and then I've got nice little cuddly robe because you know what? Perth is actually cold at the moment, surprisingly.
Yeah,
So,
man.
welcome everybody. Hey Ray. Hey RJ. Hey Geordie. Hey Jake. Hey Timothy. We've got quite a few people on, which is great. Which is welcome, 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 welcome.
Woo.
How excited are we? Is this it? Is this Intel going down? Is
Yeah,
this going to
bro.
be it?
Intel's too busy making new logos. Meanwhile, AMD is smashing it out of the park.
I can't believe that Intel has been so like on top so long. It's been so long since what was the last time they went ahead? I think was it Athlon? The Athlon series, I think was the last time AMD was on top. And I don't mean in a naughty way. I mean in a business sense.
Yeah, yeah, giggity. How long ago was that?
Let's check. Let's have a look. Um,
Athlon.
Athlon 64. I think they were also the first to go to 64-bit. Um,
Whoa, dude. Oh,
and
this
that
is
is
back in
2009.
2003.
Oh no, 2003. Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Goddamn.
That's
Wow, that is a
crazy.
long time. And then this continued, yeah, in 2009.
Was AMD also the first to hit 1 gigahertz?
Really? God, wow, that's going way back. One
Yeah.
gigahertz?
Who got 1 gigahertz CPU first? Let's have a look.
Oh my God,
Yep,
that's
it was
going
AMD. AMD
whoa,
has
when
hit the
was
1
that?
gigahertz mark first with Athlon processors. Yeah, that's right. This is it. That's the Athlon CPUs that were the first in
Is that back?
2000.
Oh, in the year 2000.
That's right. That's
One
right.
gigahertz.
1 gigahertz, man.
Oh man, I swear we had like a 2 or a 3 gigahertz processor at home at the time.
Really?
One gigahertz seems, yeah, really slow.
Well, remember that the reason AMD lost the war was because Intel went dual core. They had to do two Duo Pro or something.
Oh wow, Intel's like, we're gonna flip the script here. How about 2 cores?
First
And
two
he's like,
core
what? That's
CPU.
how?
Let's have a look. Multi-core processor. What does? When was the first dual core? 2005. Oh no, it was AMD too. What the hell? AMD. Yeah, it was. Oh, so it's still the Athlon thing.
Right, right, right. The history of the AMD.
So AMD came onto the scene, it looks like, in 2000, no, 1996. Introduced the K5 processor on March 27, 1996, with a speed of 75 megahertz.
What? Well, how many nanometers was that back then?
Oh, it doesn't really say on this site.
Because like I'm
Um,
looking at this 2003 model, it's like 130 nanometer. I'm like, whoa, dude.
they must have been
Times have
small back then.
changed. Yeah. Yeah, that must have been pretty impressive back then. But like now we're like at 7 and we're like, okay, we're almost at the max.
Pretty much. But then we got to go quantum. We got to go quantum computing.
Yeah, man.
Otherwise, no point.
I wonder what that's going to be like, quantum computing. It's just going to be like a whole bunch of particles like firing off inside your machine.
Well, literally, it is.
Yeah.
Then we had the Intel released the first Xeon in 1998. AMD did nothing. They just had a K63 processor. Intel Pentium 3 was in 1999 at 550 megahertz. And here we go, 99. AMD introduced the Athlon processor series. Athlon would be produced the next 6 years in speed ranging from 500 megahertz to
Mm.
2.3 gigahertz.
Wow, man. And now we're talking about consoles having like 3.5 gigahertz Zen 2.
Oh, I know, right? And so you watched the teardown of the
Yeah,
PlayStation 5. I know we're going to
yeah.
talk about it on Saturday, but what are your thoughts about how small the motherboard is?
You know what I thought? Yeah, that being small, but just
Yeah.
how extremely simple the whole setup was. Like they put a lot of thought and time into being like, okay, we're gonna make this thing hella simple. Like,
hmm hmm
and there's just like minimal screws, everything you can just rip apart with your hands. I Yeah, I think the design is really good.
Yeah, it's impressive.
And and it just makes me think like in a factory setting, it's like this would be a piece of cake just to assemble, like
Yeah, I
mass
mean,
produce.
the fact that each single part can be produced on its own little line is impressive, and
Yeah.
being put together with a couple of screws here and there. Um, I did notice that the fan wasn't even screwed on with all four screws. It was one screw, and the other ones were clips. So they're like, oh,
Yeah,
we don't need four screws. We just need, a couple of clips.
exactly. Like everything was minimalistic. They were like, okay, we'll do like two screws this side, like three screws this side. Yeah, it was just like efficiency, just cutting costs at every corner.
Yeah, cost cuttings. Um,
Yeah.
so the chat in the stream is going wild. It's like spamming crazy.
Oh, it is,
Um,
man. 100,000 waiting. Jeez.
yeah, this is huge for AMD. And let's be clear, this could be the end of Intel's reign for the next 2 to 3 years. That's what I'm sort of thinking on.
Yeah, there's actually this talk of Meteor Lake, which is like Intel's comeback. So people
Yeah,
are already talking about it, but that's like in 2023 or something like that, where people are like, oh, things are going to start turning for Intel.
yeah. I think there will. It has to be a cycle. There'll always be a
Yeah.
cycle of these things, and it's AMD's turn, and I think it's really exciting. I mean, Zen 2 was epic,
Yeah,
pun
man.
intended. Um, and Zen 1 was just like, hang on, what's going on? Is AMD actually like
Getting back in the ring.
potentially getting back in the ring?
Yeah.
And Lisa Su has, she's just yeah. I don't know a leader like that to take a company from where AMD was to where they are now. I hope she does it to Radeon.
Yeah, dude, I think she totally is. Like, I feel like while Intel was like 14 nanometer, 12
hmm
nanometer, Lisa Su and her team's like, all right, let's scrap that garbage and let's fly all the way down to 7 nanometer. Like they just kind of leapfrogged it. They were
Yeah.
like, how about we just invest into the future? And they just
Well,
went all in.
it was their only. It was the only step they could take. They couldn't
Yeah.
continue following the TikTok.
Yeah, which makes me wonder, like these iterations, is that just a strategic plan to kind of bleed out the consumers? Because can both of these companies, like years and
mm,
years ago, be like, we're just going to 2 nanometers from like 200, you know?
Look, you have to slowly do it. Like cost wise, you wouldn't be able to develop it. You have to go step down. From imagine how big computers used to be to how small they are now. The technology
Yeah.
just advances. Um, Actually, Ray posed a good question. What about DDR5 and PCIe V5 on
Version
the next
5.
Intel platform? Do you think Intel would skip DDR? Sorry, would skip PCIe 4 and just go straight to 5?
Whoa. I didn't actually think about that. I don't know. Will they? That's a bit like out there, isn't it?
I mean, if they do that, that'll be epic.
Is that just the comeback to try to leapfrog the other way around?
Yeah,
Be
it
like,
could be.
haha, we counter you.
Yeah, it could be. All right, we're getting to the countdown. Have you
Oh.
got the page up?
Yeah, man, I'm listening to the fat beats.
What timing are you on?
57.
Okay, so you're a little bit behind. All right.
Oh no, how do I make it go forward?
Just give it a refresh.
Okay, hold on.
As soon as the people start chatting, I'm going to put the sound up, guys, so we can listen to what they say, and we'll add a few comments in between. Let's get excited.
Yeah, we have a comment. Did we stay up or just wake up by Callan? Well, I was sleeping. I got up. These are my pajamas.
I haven't slept yet. I tried, but I couldn't. It was very difficult.
Oh, too excited, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. Here we go.
I'm still 15 seconds away. Where are you?
I'm on 0.
Oh, bro. Oh, I'm still counting down. I like this countdown thing. It was like the same one that Sony used.
Oh, forward-looking. Oh, what the hell? Oh, that's a really interesting thing to say before a presentation.
Oh, yeah.
ZEN from scratch, starting with a clean sheet of paper.
ZEN turned out to be a grounds-up design,
Yeah, this
which
is interesting.
doesn't come along very often.
In the life of an engineer, you get to build something this significant once,
What are you
twice,
seeing?
if you're lucky, 3 times in your life.
People are
AMD
talking.
enables the engineers to go off and innovate and to bring to market what it is that they dream about.
I'm extremely pleased to show you for the first time the name of our new CPU.
I love how the design of the logo is just like a paintbrush doing one stroke
Now it's
in a
time
circle.
for you to see Ryzen in action.
It's good. Cool.
We
so
wanted to
minimalistic.
disrupt the PC market. We wanted to bring innovation, choice, and performance to as many people as
Ryzen.
possible.
Intel has had it.
In high-performance
Too good, far too
PCs,
long.
it was about delivering more performance at every single price point.
The Ryzen Threadripper acknowledges that there are people who want to create and game on the same PC and need the scalability and need the performance to do that. And that's what's really exciting about the Threadripper chip.
I reckon they'll make a movie about her.
To our customers,
You reckon?
that we would
Be like
deliver
the
roadmap that
rising
we
of
set
the
out,
Lisa Sue
and
or something.
momentum is now on
Yeah,
our
Ryzen.
side.
Risen.
The anticipation around third-gen
G'day,
Ryzen
Patrick.
is
G'day,
really
NJ Striker.
impressive. Meet
G'day,
the
Caleb.
world's first 16-core
Hello,
gaming
good morning.
processor.
I mean, good
Now in
night.
2019, third gen Ryzen Z.
What we did in ZEN was push well beyond what we thought we could do. It
Look at all
makes
the
me so
circles.
proud to be able to look back and say that I was part of
What do
that.
you mean?
Oh my god,
Our
you're so
mission
behind.
with Ryzen
I'm
has
so far
always been
behind. What's going on?
It's
with my
about
face,
making the
man?
right bets 3 to 5 years in advance and making sure that they come
Okay, I'm
before
seeing
you.
circles.
Our goal
God damn
is
it.
to give you the best.
I'm on the official AMD one as well.
Yeah, I'm using the link you were using. 150,000 people watching, man. This is
Welcome
amazing.
everyone. Big welcome to
cray
all
cray.
of you, and thank you all for joining us today. I've been looking forward to this moment all year, and I know many of you have too. It's been a challenging year for everyone as we've navigated the COVID-19
Such an
pandemic
epic build-up,
globally.
right? They have to
One thing
Yeah.
we've learned is just
Meet
how
the
important
expectations.
high-performance computing technologies really are. From work to school to gaming to entertainment, the PC is now the computing platform of choice in 2020.
Do you think
Thanks,
she's talking
Pat.
to like an
And I'm
empty
really
stadium?
excited to show you today what we have been
Yeah,
working on
empty.
for the next-gen PC platforms, and especially for all of you gamers. Now, it's already been an
Gamers.
incredible year
That's
for
us.
gamers. There's so much
Yay.
excitement around the next-gen consoles. We are so proud to power the new Sony PlayStation 5 with a high-performance custom chip featuring our AMD Ryzen CPU and
Are they
AMD
powering the
Radeon
Xbox
GPU
too?
technology.
Of course.
And we are equally proud that custom AMD
Yeah, the
processors
architecture's,
also power the new
yeah, they're both
Microsoft
running on
Xbox
RDNA
Series
too.
X and Series
Man,
S consoles.
That's how they make. That's
Again,
what pays the bills.
featuring our
Yeah,
high-performance
bro.
Ryzen and
Hundreds of
Radeon
millions of
technologies.
consoles.
These consoles are bringing just incredible technology to gamers all over the world, and are really a result of just
I
deep.
love how they just.
engineering
Oh, here we go. There's the
partnerships over many,
Xbox.
many years
They
with
just have the
both Sony and
PS5 in the
Microsoft.
background.
No, that's
Now,
the biggest
gaming
seller.
is at the heart of so much of what we do at AMD. Whether you're talking about PCs or consoles or cloud gaming and mobile. AMD loves gaming, and we like to say gaming begins with AMD.
I love how this is forefront
today,
like
we're gonna
gaming
talk
because
specifically
she knows
about
the
our next-gen
consumers.
PC
It's like
gaming
99% gamers.
Intel
let's talk a
forgot.
little bit about
Intel
Ryzen.
forgot who their consumers
Now,
are.
you guys know we
Yeah.
brought the first generation of Ryzen to market in 2017. And we actually had one goal. It was to build the best PC desktop processor possible. Now, we knew we wouldn't get there in one step, but with each generation of Ryzen, it's gotten better. And we focused on how do we deliver more performance? How do we deliver the best features?
Dude, that's
And
so
how do
not
we
long
give
ago,
more
only 3
capabilities
years.
No,
to
it's
all
not,
of
is
you
it?
PC
Yeah.
enthusiasts so that you can do more than you ever thought with your desktop or in your notebook. And we've made great, great progress. We started with Ryzen in desktops, and then we introduced Ryzen Threadripper in high-end desktops. And now, actually, Ryzen is in many amazing notebook systems with our Ryzen 4000 series. I think it's safe to say that AMD loves the PC, and I think also it's safe to say that PC users love Ryzen. So we really appreciate that. Now look, let's just
AJ
focus
Strike
on
is
the
right.
desktop
Give us
for
some
a few
prices.
minutes. The progress
Yeah,
we've
yeah,
made
there's no
over
product
the
yet.
last few years
It's
has
$3.99.
been really
Woo!
amazing. If you look at the market before Ryzen, the
Wow,
desktop
PC
PC
world.
was on sort of an incremental performance slope for the last many years.
Yeah, because of Intel.
Now, over the past 3 years,
Mm.
we've significantly changed that trajectory and really completely reset expectations as we've gone from first-gen Ryzen to second-gen.
Love how they're just
Now
like
to
patting
third-gen
themselves on the back.
We were the
Oh my
first
God.
to launch a
We
7-nanometer
are
desktop
amazing.
processor, and today, third-gen Ryzen leads
Hey,
in
Jordy.
so many areas.
He's in
We're the
Netherlands.
highest in multi-threaded
It's raining.
performance. We are the best in terms of power efficiency, and third-gen
Aw,
Ryzen is
hot
an
in the
absolute
Netherlands.
great gaming processor. But as you know, we're really ambitious. So our work with Ryzen is never done. Our engineers have been on this maniacal focus of what can we do more? What can we do better? So today, we're here to talk about our brand new CPU
Just
core.
breathe. Everybody
You've all been
calm.
waiting for it. It's
I
all
know,
about
right?
Zen 3. And with Zen 3, we focused again on bringing the best to the PC market. I'm so proud of what we've accomplished. Zen 3 increases our lead in overall performance.
Like we have to remember
It
to control
increases
the
our
hype.
lead in power efficiency. And also
I don't
now,
know.
it
AMD
delivers
doesn't
the
always get
best
as much hype
single-threaded
as they
performance
deserve.
and gaming
You reckon?
performance as well. We've made massive
mean,
changes in the core architecture, and I'm sure all of you want to know
AMD
what's inside Zen 3.
fanboys do, but
So let me hand
sometimes
it
I
over
think-
to AMD CTO Mark Papermaster to give you all
Yeah,
the
I think
details.
because
Mark?
of how successful Ryzen 1 and 2 were,
yeah.
we have
Thank
these
you,
like
Lisa.
crazy
I couldn't
expectations
be more
now.
excited than to share a little bit more about Zen 3 and our progression to get here. It's been quite a
What's
journey.
inside
We
it?
set a course over 5 years
Zen 3
ago
is 7
to
nanometer.
design a family of high-performance x86
The
CPUs.
music's getting intense.
Our goal,
I'm
very
talking to
simple.
Mark now.
Outright
Do you see
leadership.
Mark too?
We set up the team
Yes.
so that
Okay,
development
cool.
of
His name is
multiple
Paper
processor
something.
generations
Paper
could be done
Master.
in parallel,
Paper
with
Master.
designers leapfrogging from one generation to another. This has resulted in consistent delivery to the market as promised. I could not be more proud than to help unveil our third generation of Zen Core debuting in Ryzen desktops this fall. It is
Killer
a
3,
beast
Killer 4.
in performance and will deliver absolute leadership in the x86 market. Zen brought us back into
so
high
these things
performance.
are gonna,
with
what,
a
release in like a
52%
few weeks, aren't they?
improvement in instruction per clock in
Here
a
we go.
single
In quarter
generation.
4, so like
It built a strong
we're in quarter
base
4
for
right now.
us to build
Yeah.
upon
New core
as
layout,
we
new
developed the
cache
Zen
topology.
family. Last year, Zen 2 brought double-digit % increase in instruction per clock and debuted 7
Bill
nanometer and
Gates' young
chiplet
version.
technology.
Oh man, I'm
That
so
7
behind. I see
nanometer
this new
efficiency
case
enabled
topology now.
leadership, multi-core performance,
refresh,
and
bro.
core density.
Bro, I keep
The
refreshing.
innovative
It just
chiplet implementation allowed us ease of manufacturing with the small
Drag
7
the
nanometer
number,
die
little
and
thing dot at the
scalability
end.
to
Drag it
leadership
forward.
core counts.
yeah, it
And now
says
Zen
0,
3.
0, and
Wow, what a great job by the design team
Yeah, it
to
does
improve
nothing.
every aspect of the CPU.
I'm in the
delivering
past,
leadership
man.
performance in that same 7 nanometer node. Higher frequency, higher instruction per clock, with design improvements across all of the
Zen
CPU
3.
components,
This is
and lower
awesome.
latency on top of that. You look at some of the key elements. There's a new layout of our processor that brings all the cores onto a
A
unified
new
8
core layout. That's
complex.
interesting.
And that accelerates
Yeah.
core-to-core communication.
Hmm.
That's especially helpful for gaming workloads. That consolidation actually allows every core to directly access
Wow.
the 32 megabytes of L3 cache. And that dramatically accelerates workloads that are latency sensitive, like gaming. And finally,
Right, okay.
significant
Core-to-core
changes
communication.
throughout the Zen 3 architecture, generating a 19% instruction per clock uplift. That's on top of the significant gains that we had just in the mid of last year with Zen 2. Altogether, Zen 3 is our most significant architectural update yet across the Zen family. We made the Zen 3 floating point and integer execution units wider, more flexible, and
Is
allows
that a
us
big
to
deal,
deliver
19%
more execution
IPC?
capability to the user at a lower latency.
What, an increase?
We've increased
Yeah.
the number of loads and stores that we
double-digit
can
increase.
do versus Zen 2,
They had
helping us feed
15%
those
the last
wider execution
generation.
capabilities of Zen 3.
Right.
We've added
So
more
it's-
branch prediction bandwidth. It allows Zen 3 to tackle
It's
back-to-back
very different
predictions
comparing
much more
this to
quickly,
GPUs, isn't it? Because the
reducing
It's very
GPU
different, yeah.
is always like,
Zero
oh, 30% from
These
like
innovations
generation
keep
to generation.
Zen 3 ahead of the industry norm on generational improvements and position Zen 3-based Ryzen to be a clear desktop performance leader.
Competitor.
Microprocessor
We know who it
performance
is.
engineering
Yeah,
never
yeah.
has
Our
one
competitors,
single
it's
bullet.
like, well, who could
It
it
takes
be?
focused microprocessor engineering. It's a broad set of improvements that are needed to make a great architecture. It takes innovation on all of the key levers. Zen 3 is a total front-to-back redesign. The microarchitecture had laser focus on performance on every element. End-to-end improvements, caching, load store, our execution units, our prefetching, our dispatch.
This stream
our
is
decode.
202,000 people.
Zen 2,
Yeah.
in fact, had been organized with 2 4-core cache complexes.
Oh,
It was
wow.
tightly integrated. That was a very good design, but what we found is that we brought
Fixed
that together
4
into that
gigahertz
single
frequency.
unified cache core complex, that we brought that direct access to 32 megabytes of L3 cache rather than the 16 megabytes that we have with Zen 2. That direct access to a cache pool of this size is very
Oh,
significant for
okay.
gaming. They tend to make frequent use, of course, of the memory subsystem.
Yeah, right.
And in fact, many games have a dominant thread. And that makes especially heavy use of the cache. And that thread now sees effectively twice the L3 cache in Zen 3. So every core can now communicate directly to the cache without traversing across the die. And that reduces latency. And it stays synchronized for applications using AI, audio, physics, and more. You can see that we
This is
continue our
1969.
relentless commitment
It was
to
founded,
energy
but
efficiency with every generation.
I think it
Well,
began,
AMD
began
honing
producing
our
in
design methodologies
1970s
to focus on performance per watt,
in regards to
even
NVIDIA
as
strike
we make
expression.
the processors faster for gamers.
All right.
Zen 3 is no different, delivering up to 24% improvement in power efficiency versus the prior generation. That's double-digit performance per watt uplift in the same process node. And that's on top
That is
of
impressive.
all the architectural changes that we drove in to drive up the performance.
They didn't need to
Our
go to a lower
commitment
node.
to energy efficiency across time has put us in the driver's seat.
Hmm.
Today, we're more than 2.8x more efficient.
Well, that's the thing,
than
right? It's
competing
about like
high-end desktop processors. And that's
refining
only a
it more
strengthening
than
of the
anything else.
leadership that we demonstrated
Yeah.
during the prior Zen 2 era. We will not let up going forward. We're focused on execution. Zen 3 is shipping in
Oh
promise.
wow,
and
then
the
Core
5
i9
nanometer Zen 4
10900
on track, in
2.8
design.
times more efficient.
The
Dude,
AMD
Zen
team
4,
is
5
hitting
nanometer.
on all cylinders, and
In
there's
design.
no shortage of innovations for the next generation.
Oh, is that
of
what
Zen
you see
processors
now?
To keep AMD
Oh,
in the
okay,
forefront
man.
and deliver the
My
best
stream
computing
sucks.
experience
I'm in
for
the
our
past
customers.
big time.
Thank you.
Yeah, 5
And let me
nanometer
welcome
in
back
design
Lisa
Zen
to now
4.
show off our
Yeah,
Zen 3
wow, okay,
and
that
new
seems like
Ryzen
they're
processors.
moving quite quickly then.
I'm impressed.
Already into 5 nanometer?
Thank you, Mark. That was great. I'm so proud of what the team has accomplished with Zen 3. We really focused on what is most important
Intel
for gamers
hasn't
and
been able to do
enthusiasts.
5 nanometer.
And that 19%
I'm
IPC
shocked
increase
AMD
is
could.
our largest increase generation over generation since we launched the Zen family. So now let's see Zen 3 in action.
Ooh.
I'm so proud to show you for the very first time the AMD Ryzen 5000 series for high-performance PCs, the world's first Zen 3 powered CPU. This is the AMD Ryzen
Well,
9
yeah, it hasn't been long. You've only had 2 Zen.
12 cores,
Zen
24
refreshes.
threads, and a boost up to 4.8 gigahertz. It's a very special product, the ultimate
Oh.
enthusiast processor. Compared to the 3900 XT, the 5900X has 19% higher IPC.
It's always so underwhelming
clock
when you're
speeds,
holding a
and
CPU.
all of
It's
the
like
Zen
just
3
this
core
tiny
improvements
block
that
in your
Mark
hand,
talked
in your
about.
fingers.
All while remaining at 105 watts. This makes Ryzen 5900X a big upgrade
Wow,
from 3rd gen
4.8
Ryzen all
gigahertz
around,
boost.
but
Huge.
especially in gaming.
Look at that TDP.
Now let me turn it over to
Only
Robert Halleck to
105.
show you the 5900X
Whoa,
in action.
really?
Thanks,
That's
Lisa. Hey everyone, let me give you a sense of just how much faster the 5900X is compared to our current
that's
Sorry,
battery,
I'm
the
cutting off
3900XT.
people's names. This is
To
Robert
do that,
Halleck,
we're going to use Shadow of the
Director
Tomb
of
Raider, a
Technical
game I
Marketing.
personally love, and a game reviewers often
All right,
look
yeah,
at
bold
to judge
guy.
CPU
Yeah, he's just come on
performance.
stage for me.
We're going to run the built-in benchmark here at 1080p using the high image quality preset on two otherwise identical systems. You can see a whopping
Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
28% increase just by moving from the 39XT to the
Oh, I didn't
5900X
expect
in
them to
Shadow
show
of
us
the
a
Tomb
game.
Raider.
This is
And as you
cool,
will
man.
soon see, the performance from the 5900X
Dude,
is
that FPS
faster than the
boost.
competing processors as
Is
well.
this just running on
Now, as
the
any enthusiast
CPU
knows,
or with the
28%
graphics card?
from a
No, of
processor
course,
change
with a graphics
is a
card, I think
massive
it would just
upgrade.
melt.
That's what
Wow.
AMD customers like me can look forward to. This truly demonstrates the gaming strength for Zen 3 when you
Jeez, that's
combine the historic IPC uplift, unified cores, and unified cache pools.
Do you reckon
Yeah,
they
that's
tested
a
with the
Now, as we
NVIDIA
zoom out
card?
to look at a wider set of
The
games,
fact that
you can
this is-
see that the 28%
This
uplift in
probably
Shadow
just
of the Tomb
shows
Raider
how much
is joined by
CPUs are
many titles
bottlenecking at
with
this
significant
time.
double-digit performance improvements.
You need new CPUs.
The gains
for
are
the new
even
graphics
bigger
cards,
in
for
titles
sure.
like
Yeah,
CSGO
I highly
and League
recommend
of
it.
Legends, where the highest possible frame rate is practically
Well, look
the
at
number one
CSGO. It's like
priority
almost
to be
50%
competitive.
boost.
Overall,
Yeah.
gamers upgrading from the
Oh, look at
Ryzen
Battlefield
3000
5
series
though.
to the
There's like
Ryzen
barely
5000
any
series
difference.
can
5%.
expect an
Yeah,
average
Battlefield's
performance
interesting.
improvement
Optimized pretty well.
of
It's very graphics heavy.
26% at 1080p.
Wait,
Again,
you're
this
saying
is
it's
just a
optimized
monumental
well?
performance
It's
jump
optimized
for
for
an
the graphics,
in-socket
not
upgrade
CPU.
on the same motherboard.
Yeah, okay.
And a true testament for how good Zen 3 is in gaming. Now, as many know, strong
But that's
gaming
only on the
performance
games that they
relies
listed,
on
26%
strong
faster
gaming
gaming on
single-core
average.
performance. That's exactly what Zen 3 has. And I want to show you using Cinebench R20 single thread. There are many ways to assess single thread performance,
Wow.
but Cinebench is a fast and easy tool that you can run at home. And it's one of the 25 workloads that we used to calculate the 19% improvement for Zen 3's instructions per cycle. As you can see, the 5900X is the first desktop processor to ever break a 600 score. We don't break it by a little, we break it by a lot with a score of 631. We at AMD heard you loud and clear as you challenged us to continue investing in single core performance, and the results
Yeah, that was the
speak for
only thing
themselves.
that Intel could
The
talk bad
combination
about
of IPC,
AMD.
frequency,
Cinebench?
cores,
No,
and
single
cache
core
give
performance.
AMD the
Oh, right.
fastest cores in the desktop market
Yeah.
and give you the best possible gaming performance. So
Incredible.
let's take
Nice,
that landmark
breaking
core
600.
performance into a head-to-head battle. Across the same set of games you just saw, the AMD
Man,
Ryzen
Intel's gotta
9
lift their game.
5900X is a clear winner at 1080p. As I promised you, AMD wins in Shadow of the Tomb Raider by +6, and is joined by many
Minus
other games
3%.
popular with reviewers
Battlefield.
and users like you.
Oh, bro, what?
League
Well,
of
at least
Legends
they're
and
being
CSGO
honest,
are once
right?
again standout victories.
It's
for
like
the
our
Ryzen 9
CPU actually is
5900X.
worse in some
So
settings.
that was a lot of data very quickly. Let's take a step back. Let's recap.
I'm surprised they even showed
You
it.
saw
I
an
think
average
this is a
uplift
great,
of 26%
great way to do
for Ryzen
business.
customers upgrading
This
to
is
the
how you win
3000
consumers
series
over
to
to be
5000
like, you know what, our CPU
You just
sucks
watched AMD deliver the
sometimes,
highest single core
but
performance
most of the time
in
it
the
doesn't.
entire desktop
Yeah,
PC
Kellen's
market.
right though. 1100K.
And you just saw AMD
Would be
clearly
good to
offer
see.
the best performance of any gaming processor on the market. I will put it plainly. We know that you're going to wait for benchmarks, but customers who buy processors purely for their gaming performance will absolutely want a Ryzen 9 5900X for the best possible
It's like the
PC
twist is,
gaming experience.
this guy had
Now let's
hair
bring Lisa
like
back
just
up to
before
give
he
you
went
more
on stage.
details on these awesome gaming processors.
Okay, so
It
they've got a
does-
5900X. Is there anything above it?
Thanks,
or
Robert.
above
That
it,
was
you reckon?
fantastic.
What, like a
I hope you're
5950?
all now convinced that the Ryzen 9
But that would be the
5900X
refresher, I reckon,
is
the
the best
5950.
gaming processor in the
After
world.
like
Now let's look at the stack.
a year or so.
In the 5000 series, we have a great choice for every gamer or PC enthusiast.
Yeah, here we
In
go.
addition to the 5900X, we have
No,
the
that's the top.
5800X.
Yeah,
An
yeah.
8-core,
The best processor.
16-thread processor with boost frequencies up to 4.7 gigahertz at
What is-
105 watts.
What do they have at the moment?
And we also have the 5600X, a 6-core, 12-thread CPU with boost frequencies up to
And the
4.6
5600,
gigahertz
right.
at 65 watts.
Dude, that
Now let's talk
that
about price and
cache in the
availability.
5900X,
The
oh my
6-core
god, it's so
5600X
huge.
is $299.
Oh.
The 8-core 5800X is $449. And the amazing
What are you tripping out on?
5900X, combining
Price.
the leadership performance and power efficiency
Oh,
of
okay,
Zen 3
hold on.
in a
I'm about to be
12-core
shocked.
7nm design is priced at $549.
Oh, wow.
And all of
Uh,
these will be
that's-
available
that's
globally
It's under
on November
unreasonable.
5th.
It's under $1,000 Australian
We're really
dollars.
proud of the 5000
For
series.
the
But
5900X.
you know we're not
Yeah.
done. We love
Yeah.
our enthusiasts, and there's
Um,
one more processor in our stack,
This
which
is
is
the
the ultimate
top end.
processor for gaming
This
and
is-
content creation.
Something smells
For
fishy
those
here,
of you
man.
who want the very best processor in a desktop PC, we have the 16-core Ryzen 9
This is the
5950X. The
replacement for the
5950X
39.
is simply an amazing CPU.
Yeah.
16
Yeah,
cores,
the 3950.
32 threads,
Yeah.
and our fastest processor with boost frequencies up to
Holy
4.9
shit.
gigahertz. The
Oh, here we go.
5950X breaks the Cinebench R20 single-threaded record that Robert set just a few minutes ago with a score of 640. It is truly the best in class in
Why are
every
they talking
dimension.
about the 5950?
Best
Is
gaming
that coming out
performance
alongside?
meets best
Yeah.
processor for content
It's
creation.
it's
And
the
all
killer,
of this
like the
still
top
at
end.
105
This
watts.
is like
It's not even a
the-
thread
Now
ripper.
let's take a
It's
look at
not
some of the
thread ripper.
performance.
It's still a
If we look at the generational uplift from the 3950X
shit.
to the
Oh,
5950X,
they're doing an
we see
NVIDIA.
up to 27%
How they start
more
off with the
performance in
38
CAD workloads,
3080 and then
and
bring out the
12% more
3090.
performance
Yeah,
in rendering
yeah,
workloads.
yeah.
More impressively, we see up to 29% more gaming performance. And this is
This is gonna
really
be
how
like
we bring the best of both
1,500
worlds together.
Australian
The
dollars.
best for gamers
Oh, yeah, this would be
and the best for
big dollar
creators.
bills.
And now, if you put 5950X against the top of the stack from the competition, we see that the 5950X provides up to
29% more
59%
gaming
more creative
performance.
performance in rendering workloads.
I
Double-digit
suppose,
wins
yeah, once
in
again,
video
cherry
editing
pick
and
games,
software
we're probably
compiling.
going to get, for the majority,
And we
like
also
5 to
win in
10%
lightly threaded
difference.
CAD workloads
Yeah.
as well. We're really proud of the fact that we also win in gaming. There's nothing like the 5950X in the world. One processor that delivers the best power efficiency, our highest clock
105
speeds,
TDP.
the highest single core performance in the industry, and the highest
Far
multi-core
Cry New Dawn,
performance
it
of any
ties with
gaming
the
processor.
10900K.
And it's priced
Yeah.
at $799 and will
i7
also be available globally on November 5th. I
Oh.
hope you're now as excited about AMD Ryzen 5000 series as I am. Zen 3 is really
Holy crap.
amazing, and I'm so happy we could show it to you today. But you guys
Fantastic.
send me a lot of notes and a lot of tweets,
$799.
and I know that
Wow.
you're not just excited about Ryzen 5000 series,
November
be-
but
5th.
there's a
1,300
tremendous
bucks.
amount of enthusiasm
Dude,
and curiosity
that's,
about our Radeon lineup as well.
all
So the
right.
next few weeks
Do you
are just
reckon
an
you'll be able
amazing
to
time
get
for
one
us.
before
In
Cyberpunk
addition
drops?
to introducing
I'll get
our
one.
Ryzen 5000 series, we're also
man,
going
good
to
luck.
introduce
These
our
things are gonna
next-gen
sell out
Radeon GPU.
In like 10
And I
minutes.
want to give you a small preview of that
Oh,
today.
here we go. Preview
This
time.
is the AMD Radeon RX 6000 series.
Oh yeah, so
which we now
GPUs.
affectionately call
That's
Big
going to be
Navi,
unleashed
thanks
in
to
the next
many of
3
you
weeks.
who nicknamed it
About
for
2
us.
weeks.
It is absolutely gorgeous and by far the most powerful gaming GPU
Small
we have
preview.
ever built. We
Oh,
got
we
a lot
already
of
seen
requests
this,
from our
Lisa. It's
fans on
been leaked.
social, and I heard a whole conversation on the Full Nerd last week about wanting to see Zen 3 and Big Navi in action. So
So
today,
shiny.
I'm going to show you
Whoa.
a preview of what you can expect from
We're
AMD
getting a
Ryzen
preview,
9
guys.
5900X
Yeah.
and our Radeon 6000 series. We've been doing a tremendous amount of work optimizing gameplay with Ryzen
Well, it's
5000
like
and
disappeared
Radeon
out of our
6000
hands.
series. So let me show you today Borderlands 3, which is a very popular AAA title
Oh,
running
she
at
is gonna
4K
show us.
resolution on the Ryzen 5900X and our Radeon 6000 series. Just take a look at that
This would be
performance.
great to see what
Over
they do
60
hand in
frames
hand
per
together.
second at 4K with beautiful image quality.
Borderlands 3.
We are super excited with what
60,
we've accomplished with Big
60
Navi.
frames 4K.
In addition to Borderlands 3, here's a bit more of a performance preview on Call
Oh,
of Duty
she
Modern
doesn't say
Warfare,
which Radeon it
Gears
is.
of War
but
5 at ultra settings in
No,
4K.
6000 series.
And again,
yeah,
what
yeah,
you
but
see
it
is
doesn't say
tremendous
which
4K
model.
performance
Like, is it the
across the board.
6900?
We still have a few
68?
weeks until launch, and the team is working really hard on fine-tuning things. But I hope you're as excited as we
It
are
looks like it'll
about
be
what
the high
Ryzen
end.
5000
Yeah,
series
probably
and
the
Radeon
highest end.
6000 series
3080
can do together for your
equivalent.
next
Okay,
generation
4K.
PC. So that brings us to the end. I hope you enjoyed today. It's been so much fun spending time with you. We have a lot more to show you later this month, so join us again on October 28th, where we'll give you the full story of our AMD Radeon RX 6000 series. And make sure you mark your calendar for November 5th to find Ryzen 5000 series on shelf worldwide. Take care and see you soon.
Thank you, Lisa. That was amazing.
Yeah. Thanks, Lisa. Is that already half an hour? Wow,
That's
that was
it.
fun.
That's it. That's fantastic. Thoughts?
Thoughts? Get your wallets ready, and I don't know, man. Like fight the bots, I guess.
I don't know, man. I'm actually, when I saw the the frames for the other cards, I thought they were actually quite low comparably. So I'm talking about GPU. I thought that reveal was a bit lackluster.
What you mean, the 5700 XT?
No. The graphics card, what she showed, 60 frames at 4K Borderlands.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about the 6000 series, right? You think that's
Yeah.
lackluster performance there?
I think so. I don't know how it's going to compete.
Although, okay, so in order to do that, what was the Borderlands performance on 4K? I'm just going to quickly have a look at
Have a quick Google.
Borderlands 3 4K.
And I have to say, the
3080.
CPUs, a fantastic lineup. I actually just jumped onto PLE
Yeah.
to have a look at what current CPUs there are in there. And at the moment, the Ryzen 9 3950X, which is the exact comparison to the 5950X or whatever it is, is on shelf for $1,200. So expect the price to be around that.
Oh, dude.
Top end.
So okay, so running on the 3080, 4K max, the FPS is around 60 to 65.
Yeah, so it's going to be performing at the 3080.
Yeah, this is actually really impressive then.
Well, it's impressive, but I guess a lot of people were hoping for something more.
I guess so. There's no way in hell it's going to be competing against the 3090, that's for sure. They don't want to, and it wouldn't make any sense for them to.
Financially, maybe next generation.
Maybe, but then again, why would you want to, right?
That's not what people buy.
Yeah, that is not what people buy. People buy the most affordable. It's all about bang for buck. That's all that it's always been. So that top tier level, I mean, yeah, maybe now is a good market for it, but because of our current situation and the desperation of the consumers.
Yeah, I mean, I jumped on stats too, and RTX 3080 is at 65 frames average for Borderlands 3 at 4K. I guess one thing I'd like to say is that Zen 3 is going to be absolutely a huge boss.
Yeah.
It's gonna steal the show, and Intel's gonna have a while to win back the gaming community, because what AMD did just now is not just release a good CPU. They released a good CPU with a marketing campaign aimed directly at gamers, doing the right thing by gamers. And guess what, Casper? Gamers tell their non-gamery friends to buy AMD. That's how it fucking works. Because when you want to build a computer, you want to buy one, and you go ask your friend who's a techie, he's probably a gamer too, and he's going to say AMD. Or she's going to say AMD.
Yeah, absolutely. Callan Parker says, issues Radeon benchmark is cherry-picked and tested, but with the RTX, it is the actual game. It is in the actual game. Yeah, they absolutely did. They cherry-picked it.
That's cherry-picked every time. Well, so did NVIDIA on their presentation.
And so these 6000 GPUs are actually going to be even weaker than we thought now as well, because they're running this on the latest CPU. Was it the 5950 or 5900 that they did this?
5900X.
5900X.
Yeah.
So in reality, if we compare it side by side with the 3080, the FPS would be something like 55 compared to 65. So it's like 10%, 10 to 15% weaker, probably the highest end GPU of the Navi against the 3080.
Yeah. So they're going to have to compete on price. Price is going to
Yeah.
be where they differentiate themselves and say, hey, we do it differently because we're cheaper and we perform 5%, less so, but look at the price. We are
Yeah.
for gamers. You don't have to pay through the nose to get that performance. They're going to beat that drum, and good, because Intel has lost touch with gamers. They have been removing features that make it a enthusiast platform and been locking it behind more and more expensive products. And now what AMD did last generation, Zen 2, is build a good favor with the community, and then they drop this and go, we're still behind you guys. It's a power move.
Yeah.
It's an absolute power move.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're going to be selling to us affordability and longevity, which is, if the rumors are true, if they are going to be giving us 16 gigabyte cards, a lot of people will be more interested to flock to that, which is when NVIDIA then's going to respond with its 20 gig cards and then obviously keep dominating in that regard. Because we know that moving into next gen, 10 gigabytes on the 3080 will be good for the next 2 years, I believe. But then the third and the fourth year, that's when Struggle Town's going to hit in regards to 4K. You'll be fine in 1080 and 1440 if you want, but that's when 4K is going to have limitations.
See, I don't necessarily agree with that, because the inefficiencies of games will show up drastically. The only game right now that hits over 10 gigs RAM is Microsoft Flight Simulator, and that is an excessive game. That is an excessive amount of things to load in your VRAM. A lot of games don't go near 10, and I guess we can bring it back to consoles. They have to play 4K at 30 or 60. They don't have 10 gigs of GDDR5, what is it, 6 or whatever?
6X, yeah.
Yeah, I think they have, 8, I think it was? PlayStation 5 has 8?
Well, the thing is, it has 16 gigs, and that's obviously...
that's just RAM.
The 16 gigs it's everything. So it's a combination of it all. And it's just how it's distributed appropriately between RAM and between the VRAM. So... And I guess we got to ask ourselves, how much actual RAM do consoles need against how much actual VRAM they need as well?
Hang on. There is RAM and then there is VRAM. There's two different things. The consoles now have a separate GPU.
The way I understand it is it's just 16 gigabytes, and that's shared in between the two.
I'll have a look at that, because that's not what I got from the video yesterday.
Yeah. And we got to understand that obviously things are going to be optimized a lot differently on consoles. First of all, we're not going to get ultra settings on consoles. Like, we're going to get the mid to high end. We're also going to have a lot of, I guess, fiddling around with the pixel rates. So, it might not necessarily be like native 4K. So there's going to be a lot of tactics that are going to be used so that we can utilize less VRAM on the consoles, which is probably how they're going to split it. They're going to split that 16 to 8 and 8 maybe, or maybe 10 and 6, just depending on the requirements. Because I gather they probably don't require a lot of RAM, because it's just solely such a focused unit.
So the PlayStation 5 has 10 gigs of RAM running at a certain speed, and then another 6 gigs running at a lower speed.
Right, so that could be the split. The optimal split will be the 10 and 6, right?
You'd hope the 10 goes for the graphics card.
Absolutely, yeah. I would say, yeah.
But that video yesterday, I thought they said 8 and 16, and I was like, what?
Oh, I think he was saying there's 8 modules at 2 GB each, so each of those is a 2 GB. How we had the little GPU chiplets.
I have to have a look at the
Yeah.
video again.
So, wait, the PS5 one, those are all the same bandwidth, right? Like 448, and I think it's the Xbox one that's split, isn't it? I think Xbox has the 10 and 6 split
No, this one
between
has
the
10 and
speeds.
6. I just read it on a website, unless it's completely wrong.
Yeah, because I thought the PS5 was all like 448, and I think the Xbox was like 500 something on one side, and then a little bit lower on the other.
I was
Uh-huh.
reading this on Pocket In or something, the website, and yeah. So I'm trying to get to the video there. Here we go. AMD Radeon, RDNA 2 based,
Mm.
and it
So
has
you
1,
see,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 1, 2. Yeah, so there's 8 chips, and it's system memory 16 GDR16. Yeah.
yeah.
And then he's got a couple more on the other side. Oh, that's SSDs. Okay, maybe that's what I was.
So okay, so I guess what we got to ask ourselves is, back in 2013, what GPUs were there around? The 780 Ti. Yeah. Okay, so top
780
graphics
Ti.
processors back in 2013. So the 780 Ti had how much VRAM did that have?
780 Ti. I'll look it up now.
Yeah. 3 GB.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So the PC market went from back then 3 GB, which consoles were back then 8 GB, and the consoles have doubled to 16, but the CPU market's more than tripled, I guess, since then, which is interesting. So probably no
Look, I don't
issues
think
for
the
years
10.
to
I don't
come.
think the 10 gigabyte thing's going to be an issue for the life of a RTX 3080.
Yeah,
And I
and I
think
think
the RAM is pretty cheap anyway. It's not expensive.
well, VRAM is cheap.
Yeah, like the difference in 10 and 16, the price difference could be like $20-$50
Yeah,
on
this is what
mass production.
this is what has a lot of question marks raised. Like, why didn't NVIDIA just make it 12? Like,
And I'll tell you why. Because if you add more, you have to redesign the power draw, and then when you have more and you want to run them at the clocks that they're running at, you've got more power draw and more heat. Like, the cooling on this thing is insane, and it's packed so tightly on that board. So they went with 10 because I think they just couldn't get it to work at higher with more. What AMD is going to do is going to release a 16 gig with lower clocked RAM, and that's probably why the performance is going to suffer by maybe 5 to 10%. But they're going to have more VRAM. So it's going to be, it's a weird game, right? You're trading vices. You want more speed, but you have to maintain your voltages and you have to maintain your cooling. So,
yeah. Okay, that's going to be interesting. So perhaps where the edge will lie with the AMD GPU will be in rendering workloads on other applications, I suppose, as opposed to gaming solely.
yeah, I hope they don't do that. I think they should just concentrate on gaming. NVIDIA tried to do that last RTX, the first generation. They tried to say how it's going to be about, developing all these cool looking games. It never happened. And so this generation, they're all about gamers, gamers, gamers. That's the people that buy it, enthusiasts. It's like car companies.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, gamers, enthusiasts, man, for sure. Well, okay. I think this is just going to give consumers a lot more options then moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the
we'll definitely be talking about this more on Saturday. And we're doing this at an early time of 5 p.m. Western Standard Time. And of course, 7 p.m. for you folks on the Eastern States. So that's Saturday.
Wait, hold on. Didn't they have daylight savings?
Oh, that'll be 8 o'clock. Yeah.
It's 8 o'clock, right? Yeah.
Do we need to do it earlier? Do we need to do it at 4?
Nah, I think 5 is good. I think 5 is good, yeah.
8 o'clock. All right, 8 o'clock, Saturday night. Tune in. on the same channel. A couple of questions before we go. City Skylines runs at 10. I don't know what resolution that would be, and it's probably like when the thing gets really big. But again, that's the same as Flight Simulator. You're gonna have these weird games that just load in a whole shit load of stuff, and probably most games that people play, like a single player, won't have that.
Yeah. Like I
Brisbane
saw,
will be 2 hours, because they're or 2.5, I think.
oh, right, okay.
The Bane says, in a few years, the console games get ported, released, and it will set the scene for the PC market. 10 gig won't be enough. I don't know. I very much doubt it. I think we're not
And
in
in how long,
generation yet.
sorry? It won't be enough?
In a few years.
Well, yeah, I mean, that is true. By then we will be upgrading anyway, because I
Yeah.
think it will last us 4 years I think, just barely.
Yeah.
And we probably won't be playing 4K by then, but we will be upgrading by that time, most likely. I think a lot of us, because of the architecture will be so advanced by then.
Well, you'd hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this generation will last, and they're going to have the 20 gig versions anyway, so that's not really a
Yeah, the
problem.
20 gig.
One thing I would say is Nvidia made a mistake by not giving us at least 12 gigs of RAM.
Yes.
That few
Yes.
gigs over 10 would have been good, but then there's always going to be a game that might just push it a little bit far, and that's what I'm saying. Most games won't, because of the structure of the game. Like, you'd have to be running, stupid resolutions at high,
Yeah.
fidelity.
I hope so, right? Because I saw a video of Red Dead Redemption 2. It was sucking up like 9 or 10 gigs, and that's which is really weird. The application is like, you've got the VRAM, we're going to take it all,
Yeah,
obviously,
exactly. Yeah.
but we're probably going to use 6 or 7 in reality. We're going to take it all just in case.
Yeah, and the other thing I'd also like to add is that, oh shit, I just had the thought, with VRAM and why 10 is...
Well, 10 is
I'll
like
come back to it.
Yeah, okay.
I'll come back to
I'll
it.
come back to you tomorrow when we have
yeah.
the show.
Kaylin says, how actual RAM do you during game like CPU RAM on average? I use like 22 gigs. I honestly don't know what that means. Sorry, Kaylin, that was written really weirdly. Gamer Nexus and Hardware Box already have a video about benchmarking games for the CPU. Yep, that's right. Kenneth says, hopefully Big Navi can be competitive pricing wise, really counting on that. Yeah, that's going to be their shtick. They're going to be cheaper, and they're going to have more RAM.
Yeah.
Ray says, do you think 3090 may need a support brace like the old Ares card? Yes, it will. It's 32 centimeters, and it will need a support if you're placing it, inside the case like that. But if you have it like this, it should be okay.
Yeah, it's a big fat daddy.
Yeah, it's big. Nafi says GDDR6X is quite more power and cost prohibitive than GDDR6. Yes, it is. For now, but that's for a little while. Wayne says the price increases absolutely sucks, particularly in those times where many people have less money.
Yes.
That's a peculiar thing, because guess what? Everything's been selling out.
Yeah, I wonder if the bots have are the bots more impactful than we think they are? Like, are they buying out more than we realize?
Yeah, well, the bots could be. There's a lot of scalpers at the moment, scalping shit, which is sad. But I think that's it. Final thoughts, Casper?
Look, I am impressed. Like, this is great. Like, it's not like mind-blowingly amazing, but it's like a step in the right direction. It's fantastic, especially with the prices. I mean, the prices are fantastic. You're getting a better product, you're getting a good value, and you're seeing that, they're already going to be jumping to 5 nanometer, which I'm thinking Ryzen 4. I don't know. I would probably wait for 5, because there's going to be their first hand at 5 nanometer, and we know that the first time is always a rough time. So
I would wait for the second 5 nanometer.
Yes. Yeah.
So upgrade now, and then skip the next one and go to.
Yeah, I agree.
CPUs last a long time, Casper. I think
they do. Yeah, absolutely, they do.
I'm on 7700K, and that's got 91 TDP, and it's 4 years old, and we're at the 3rd gen already with Intel.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know. Intel's just blasting out the CPUs, but they're just
They're not
like,
very good.
I know, they're like 5% from
Yeah.
one to the next.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for watching, for tuning in and joining us on this very important day. Happy
Yeah.
Friday, everyone. Make sure to have some
Happy
beers in
Friday.
the afternoon. And we'll leave you guys there.
And get some sleep if you can. I know
Yeah.
I will be.
Oh, make sure you subscribe to not miss out. And see you guys all next Saturday. Have
Yeah,
a good
take
night.
care. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. I'm gonna go get some